Hello there, out in YouTube land, and welcome back to Kev's Kitchen. And what am I doing today? I hear you ask. Well, I'm going to be doing some pre-cooked chicken before I get into a curry. Yeah, that's my take on chicken jalfrezi is a little bit different than normal. So if you follow this recipe though, I absolutely guarantee you it's going to be really tasty, okay? So stick with me and here we go. Pan on. And of course, for those of you that have watched me before, you know that my favourite oil, you don't have to have this, is the old rapeseed. I do like it. Or if you really want to go for it, you can go and get some ghee from the Indian shop, or you could have vegetable oil or olive oil, but I would stay away from olive oil if I was you. So here I am with all my ingredients laid out. I've done some prepping behind the scenes so I don't bore you to death. We've got the pan on, and in this pan we're going to be starting doing some flavouring of the oil. And we do that by introducing a cinnamon stick, some cloves, about 7 or 8 of those, some cardamom pods, about the same, 7 or 8 of those, and some bay leaves. And what that's going to do is going to start making an aromatic type of base to the oil, so that when we do add our chicken in later on, it's got this aromatic flavour, and it starts to cook the chicken in a really lovely way, giving that aromatic taste to the chicken. So it's a pre-cooked chicken. Now, in regards to chicken, you could go chicken breast if you wanted. Me, I like to do the chicken thighs. So I've got about 600 grams here of chicken thighs I've chopped up, and they're ready to go. Okay, so chicken thigh, I did the boneless. I mean, if you wanted to, you could get the chicken thighs and then debone them yourself, but I cheated. I went and got the boneless ones. I've also chopped some onion up. Some onion there, ready to go. And also I've got some tomatoes in here, and what I've done, I've added me spices, which I'm going to go through in a minute, and some coriander and some garlic and ginger in with that. So that's what that is. I've already pre-blended me spices, okay, so it's the Power 4 plus a few others. So if you don't know what the Power 4 are, you got the old cumin, coriander, turmeric, garam masala. Alright, those are the Power 4. And also some curry powder, some mild curry powder as well. Alright, so those are the Power 4. I've mixed those in with that with a little bit of pinch of salt as well. It's gone in there as well. So I've already pre-mixed my spices ready to go, rather than adding teaspoon. Okay, so that's that. So here we go. Let's get me cinnamon stick out. Pop him in there, along with 6 or 7 cardamom pods. Same with cloves. Not too many, you don't want to overpower it, okay? And along with that, turn that a bit. Whatever. A couple of bay leaves. Okay. And we're just gonna fry that for a little bit. I've just turned the oil down a fraction. I don't want to burn anything. It's important when you actually come to do your spices that you know, I've got gas, but you've got electric, then you have to move your pan on and off the heat. Alright, because otherwise you're going to burn your spices, and that would be a disaster. That's the last thing you want to be doing. Okay. So I'm just going to cook that, and I'm sure you haven't got smelly vision, which is unfortunate. I can already smell those cardamom pods and the cloves and the bay leaves and the cinnamon start to infuse the oil with that lovely aromatic taste. That really is nice. Now also, just on the sideline here, I've got some water. All right, water is your friend. Don't be afraid of using water. And right here, it's a little extra as well. So I bought some ginger, which I scraped off the horrible outside, and I put it in with some garlic and some coriander, fresh coriander, and I blitzed it down to make this paste, which is really nice to have. All right, and that is going to go in there. About a teaspoon of that. We're just going to let that cook down for a while. I've got the heat turned down quite low actually, because the oil did get nice and warm, nice and hot. I tell you, when that hits your nose, it's just insane. Just such a nice thing. Maybe a little bit more. Love that. All my kitchen's going to smell of curry. So I live on my own, so you know what I'm going to be doing is quite a big batch of curry, but don't panic, it's not going to go to waste. I will be freezing it, popping some over to my mum and eating it myself as well. Yum yum. But absolutely nothing goes to waste in this kitchen. Okay, on top of that, I'm going to add some onion. I'm just going to let that cook for a bit, let everything start to infuse. And if you feel like it's getting a bit dry in there, which I think it is, I'm just going to pop a little bit of this in. That's the tomato puree. Only a little bit. Maybe just a tad of water. Okay, water is your friend. Remember that? And curry. Not too much, you know, don't be swimming in water, because then all your curries end up really runny and horrible. So I'm doing a jalfrezi, so my peppers are already chopped up. They're going to be chopped up even more than that, but not diced, but in strips. Okay, that's there, ready to go. But first of all, pre-cooked chicken is first, and you'll see it build up in time. Okay. Now I find that if you follow the pre-cooked chicken recipe of doing your curries, your chicken comes out perfect almost every time, as long as you cook it to the right timings. It's not all hard or at all. The chicken is lovely and succulent, and it's retained a lot of moisture. It's absolutely perfect. So if you do pre-cooked chicken with your curry, you're a winner, okay? Winner chicken dinner. So I'll let it cook for a bit. What I want to see is a little bit of caramelisation of the onions, not too much. Not like if you were doing a Balti, chicken Balti, or those who like the chicken Balti, caramelise. But this is just pre-cooked chicken, so we're just getting the base going. So I just want it to cook the garlic and the ginger and all the other bits and pieces before I start putting the spices in. Put a bit of water in, and then we'll cook the spices, what we call bhuna. You bhuna the spices, or cook the spices, and that then we can start putting the chicken in. Alright? Okay, first things first, we want to cook this for a little bit, soften those onions, and then they'll be ready to absorb all those lovely spices when they go in. So when I add the spices, you'll find me taking it, even though I've got gas, I'll take it completely off the heat, add my spices, bit of water, and then back on the heat. Because what do we don't want to do? We don't want to burn it. Not good. Okay, we're ready for putting our spices in now. So these are all pre-mixed, so probably about 4 or 5 of those should be ample. A little bit of water, and then back on the heat, and then start mixing it. And what I'll do is I'll just mix it in, add a little bit more water, and then cover it, and then we're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll have a chat with you. All right, see how you're getting on. So just going to add a tiny bit more water, maybe a little bit more of this tomato puree. That's enough. Yeah, so I'm trying to get I'm looking at the amount of sauce that I've got in there, and I'm thinking, is that enough to be mixing in with the chicken? Because obviously there's quite a lot of chicken here, so I'm looking at the amount that I've got, thinking maybe I need a little bit more of that, a little more of this. Now I don't want to taste it, definitely not at the moment. It'll be really overpowering because it's just a paste, not watered down, not got those tomatoes or anything like that in it. Okay, we're going to put that on a medium heat, and then I'm going to cover. And we're going to let those spices booner for a bit, what we'll call, or cook for a bit, and then they'll slowly get the moisture will come out of it, and it will get intensified. What you don't want to be doing is throwing your chicken in now, right? Because the spices aren't cooked, so when it soaks into that chicken, you're not going to get that deep level of flavour. So don't miss this step out. You know, take your time. Curries are not about rushing. We're not in a restaurant. We're not under any pressure to get the dish out on time. You know, if you're going to cook this for friends, then I suggest what you do is you cook it, you know, plenty of time in front of them arriving, so you're not cooking it out there because you're not going to be able to talk to them. But the nice thing about this is once you cooked it, you could put it aside and then you could warm it up when they arrive, so you know it heats up quite nicely. But if you can get your timings right when they walk in the door, you know, 5 to 10 minutes of greeting and saying hello and getting the drink sorted out, and then Bob's your uncle with the curries on the table with all your poppadoms and whatnot. And if you want to do a starter, then I believe I've got the perfect starter for you. Not tonight, we won't do it tonight, but that's coming. So if you like and subscribe, guess what? You might get interest in a nice little treat in a lovely starter called onion bhaji. Believe it or not, they are really, really simple to make, very tasty. And also a lovely accompaniment that goes along with the mint sauce. I do that as well. So like and subscribe, and guess what? You get them, and don't forget the notification. So when that video comes up, you think, oh, I got to do my onion, but I want to go onion bhaji. Where's Kev's kitchen? Where's my onion bhaji? Don't worry, it is coming. Right, it's cooking away there. I don't want to disturb it quite yet. Just see what else. So when I'm doing my chicken jalfrezi, I'm going to make it a little bit more spicy. So in the background here, I do have some Kashmiri chilies. Now they're not as take your head off as much, but they are quite nice. So the Kashmiri chilies that go in there as well. And there's some other ingredients. Now this not normally goes in a jalfrezi, but I like it. It's called fenugreek, and it's a lovely, lovely spice. In fact, if you just smell that, you get the instant, like you're actually in a curry house almost immediately. You go, oh wow, that's amazing. It is a fantastic spice. So we got that to go in as well. And just here is curry gravy, which I made about 3 months ago. I've had it in the freezer, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do a curry tomorrow. So that's come out of the freezer, that's defrosted now. And I'll have to show you that another day, because that's quite in it. I didn't just make this, I made quite a lot of it. And I'll put it into portions for when I'm doing a curry. So this is the curry gravy. So again, you'll have to like and subscribe and press the notification button for when I actually do the base gravy, which is fantastic. It makes your curries a lot simpler when you actually come to building them. Okay, you get that immense layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of taste, which is what you're trying to get. You know, that real restaurant flavour to your curry at home. So there we go. I'll just bring this up to you. Look. There we go. Look. That's nice. Okay, that's ready for the chicken to go in, which is just here. I'll definitely give that a wash. What I'll do is in a minute, as I'll show you how it looks. We're just going to fold the chicken in, get all the chicken covered in the curry paste, which is in here. Then we're going to add a tiny little bit, maybe not. I think maybe not. I think because the chicken's going to release quite a bit of fluid anyway. Okay, they're absolutely perfectly at the right amount to baste the chicken fully in the paste. Okay, so we're just going to put the heat up a little bit, just about medium, and then we're going to cook it. And we're going to cook that for about 5 to 8 minutes. All right, maybe I'll tell you, we're going to go in the middle. Let's go 6.5. How about that? 6.5 minutes. We're going to cook that now. So I'm looking at the stopwatch up there. I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to come back, but 6.5 minutes. We're going to come back to this, and then we're going to go from there. Okay? So see you in 6.5.